Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I make fitness, lifestyle, acne, skincare, holistic, all the things videos. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I love you so much. I have decided to film a skin update, healing journey update because my skin has taken a massive turn and I wanted to give you all an in-depth update rather than just like here and there throughout a couple of weekly vlogs. So I've just pulled up in my skin appointment. We are potentially doing needling today because yeah, my skin is doing that good. So we're just trying to reduce scarring, but I also don't want to break out and needling can cause breakouts. So we're going to go in and see what she says. And then after that, once I get home, we're going to give you the full update. I am home from my facial and we're gonna do a full skin update, but I'm really sorry if it's a bit echoey. There's literally nowhere in the house that I can film because that's not echoey because we have no furniture at the moment. Oh, you guys, I just have to give you a Ziggy update. He's such a good boy. He's getting so much better at being home by himself. Once I finish work, I'll be able to take him for a W this afternoon and get some energy out. But let's get straight into it. So, the skin journey. Oh my gosh, it's been a journey. That's what I'll say. It's been 5 years, no, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 6. It's been 6 years. Oh my gosh. My skin journey has been 6 years. I cannot believe that. I was saying 4 or 5, but no, it started in 2018 when I came off the pill. So I was on the pill for 2 years and I'm not gonna go into like that whole side of things. I'm just gonna speak on my acne and potentially we'll do a podcast episode about it. That way I can just actually riff. I don't want this video to be hours long. That can be for the podcast. But I came off the pill in 2018 after being on it for 2 years and my skin just broke out. I was going through a lot of other things at the time with my health and just other like life things as well. But yeah, my skin just absolutely broke out and it was honestly like I didn't even know what to do. I'd never really had bad skin. I was going through weight gain and so many other things that really just threw my confidence out the window. And the skin was like the biggest thing. The skin is like, you know, your external piece that everyone can see and like you can't really hide and cover it up. And that was the first thing that just like tipped me over the edge. And basically for a whole year, I was trying to just figure out what was going on. I stayed off the pill for that whole year and really was just trying to figure out what was going on with my skin. It was so painful. I had to have ice packs. I couldn't sleep on it. You know, I would cry, just cry myself to sleep. I would cry every day. I would cancel plans. I would not go out. I would literally just be at home as much as I could because going out was the most terrifying thing with, you know, acne on my face and just not being able to control it and, you know, that sort of stuff. So that was honestly a good year of it just being super cystic and all over my face and so uncomfortable. I got to a breaking point where I literally was just like, I've had enough. And I went back on the pill. I think I went on like Yasmin and then the first pill I was on was Levlin. And then I think I went on Yasmin the second time. So I went on the pill Yasmin and I also went on antibiotics for my skin at this point as well. And I was on them for about 3 months. And during that year off the pill, I had done so much research on the pill and, you know, acne and starting to learn a lot more about it. And I just like couldn't do it. Like I tried for 3 months and like I did see my skin clear up. It definitely did. But I just got to a point where I was like, I come off the pill and my acne comes back because I haven't healed it from the root cause. And that was the biggest thing that I wanted for the future. Like I didn't want to go on and off medication and get it back and not actually heal my acne. So that was just like a big thing in my mind always. Right around this time that I went back on the pill, that's when I was diagnosed with PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is basically a hormonal disorder. If you haven't heard of it, but I feel like it's definitely more out there now. But basically where you get all sorts of symptoms of acne, hair growth, hair loss, weight gain, weight loss, lack of periods or irregular periods, whether that's more or less. Like there's so many different side effects, and I had basically all of them. So PCOS was very strong for me. I also had 35 cysts on one ovary and 30 on the other. So it was quite severe. It was causing a lot of pain with periods and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, acne was a massive symptom of mine. So that at least gave me like a little bit of an answer. But when I got put back on the pill, I did it for 3 months, and then I ended up throwing it out, and I just was like, internally with my values and what I've learned over that year, I couldn't do it. So basically I threw them all out, and this was at the end of it's so hard to get the exact dates right, but I'm pretty sure it was at the end of 2019 it would have been. And so I basically, yeah, just threw it all out, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna do this naturally, and I'm going to heal it, get to the root cause, and do what I need to do. So that looked like going to a naturopath for the first time, where I saw a naturopath in Essendon, and he really started to do acupuncture, give me herbs, and work on my hormones to try and, you know, help with the PCOS and everything. Are we allowed up on the table? So that was kind of the point where I started to really just go, okay, like I'm gonna put in the work, and I'm gonna do what it takes to heal everything naturally and do it properly, so that, you know, in the future I'm, you know, healed and I can just move past it. And for me, like you guys would know if you've been here for a while, my biggest goal in life is to have kids and be a mum, and that means, you know, regular periods and balanced hormones, and all the things that I was struggling with means it needed to be balanced out. So to have that as my main goal and that be on my mind, I had to go through the natural route and heal it properly to then hopefully have that in the big picture. And, you know, credits to myself, because I always had that in my mind, and that's what's kept me going for the last 6 years. That was the start of the natural route. So obviously started seeing the naturopath in 2020. I basically have not been on any form of medication for my skin since 2019. So that is, yeah, 4 years of completely aiming to heal it naturally. And let me tell you how many breaking points there has been, how many times I wanted to just give in and go on Roaccutane and just get the quick fix and have the clear skin and have the glassy, glowy skin that, you know, everyone else has and that you see on social media. But again, what stayed in the back of my mind the entire of the last 4 years is how much I want to have kids, how much I want just really well-balanced health, how much I know the side effects of Roaccutane and how much it's done to, you know, certain people. And please don't take this video as what works for me is going to work for you. Like, everyone is different, and I get it. Like, acne journey is so hard, and like I said, there was so many times where I had breaking points of wanting to go on Roaccutane, but because I'd done so much research, I just knew that for me the side effects weren't worth it. And being someone who'd already struggled with mental health, I didn't want to jeopardize how much work I've done on my mental health and my mindset, and Roaccutane can be a problem for that. So I am very proud of myself, but basically what the last 4 years has looked like for my health and trying to heal my skin. So the first thing for me was looking internally. So that meant all the tests that I did was regular blood tests, getting a full hormone panel, doing a gut microbiome test, which meant pooing on a stick and sending it off, internal, external ultrasounds to check on my ovaries and things like that. So that was kind of the first initial steps, is to really figure out what's going on underneath. So in regards to my gut microbiome is where a lot of the answers come from. So this gives you answers like you've never seen before. But the things we were particularly looking for was anything like parasites or bacteria overgrowth, worms. Yeah, there's like 3 different columns. And thankfully, I didn't have any worms or parasites, but I did have 5 lots of bacterial overgrowth. So that kind of explained a lot of things. So that looked like getting herbs and supplements to be able to kill off that bacteria, really build up my gut microbiome to help support that and get rid of all the bacteria basically. And that was also, you know, not eating gluten, not eating dairy because they're inflammatory foods, and really sticking to a whole food diet. I was vegan at the time when I first started seeing Tia, and she was like, okay, we need to look at introducing meats and different types of things to be able to build that back up. And I think going vegan initially for me, which was, I went vegan for 2 years, it definitely did help. And I think because prior to going vegan, I was in such a bad place, eating horribly, like hardly eating anything. And when I was eating, it wasn't wasn't good. So going vegan made me really go into like whole foods and really macronutrients, and living with Jackson, who was also vegan at the time when we first moved in together, helped incredibly. So I think being vegan served its purpose for that time to just like go really healthy basically. And then yeah, 2 years of that, it definitely helped. I lost a lot of weight and kind of got back to myself physically, but we were still working on everything internally. So then that's when I went to Tia and we started to introduce meats very slowly. I started with chicken for I think it was 2 years, and I only reintroduced red meat this year, and I think it's been amazing, but it was a gradual process. One thing that I kind of have cut out for a very long time has been eggs. There's so many different studies on every single different food, and again, this just comes down to your body. But for me, my mum was really big on eggs carry bacteria. A lot of naturopaths will say avoid it, a lot of skin therapists, but yeah, everyone and every practitioner is going to be different. But I did notice a difference when I was eating and not eating eggs. I would notice my skin break out, and so I just steered clear for them for literally like the last 4 years. And I've only like, I had my first egg like 2 days ago, and then I had it 3 days in a row because it was so yum, and they're such great in protein. So hopefully I can start to gradually build them back in. Another thing I did was celery juice. Now, if you've been here from the beginning, honestly, basically when it started, I have been on celery juice for a very long time. My mum got me onto celery juice years ago, and it was from the medical medium. He basically created celery juice and studied it, and there was like, the benefits are insane. Like, people have healed so many different diseases and syndromes, and oh, like I can't even go on to explain, like there's so many. So my mum got me onto that, and then Jackson's mum was also very big on medical medium, and he's just incredible. He's got like 5 different books on like liver cleanses and detoxes and all sorts of things. So he was incredible, and celery juice is something that I stuck to on and off for a good chunk of time. I did it for a year straight when I first moved to Adelaide and saw major benefits. For me, it was like reduced inflammation. My bowel movements and my digestion was 10 times better. My skin, the benefits for my skin were insane. So I actually cleared my skin up in 2021 to the end of 2021, basically. Like I was at the stage where I'm at now, and I was doing needling, and all I was doing back then was celery juice. I was vegan at the time, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then once I moved to the Gold Coast, it started to flare back up again. Now, when I was seeing Tia, this is when I started to like think about introducing meats. Tia's opinion on celery juice was very different to mine. She didn't love it, so I actually tried to go off it for a little bit and just see how my body would go, and focus on her supplements and my herbs and my supplement routine that was made for me and my body. It was all fine, but I did start to flare up again, and it could have been so many different things, like the moving states by myself, stress, like just so many different things, and potentially my gut just being super unhappy, so that caused my skin to flare up again. The first year of living on the Gold Coast, my skin did start to flare up, and the reason Tia didn't love celery juice is because Ziggy, oh no, BRB. Okay, he's fine, I'm back. So yeah, for the female body and the hormones and things, like very warm, nourishing foods, and obviously celery is not warm. And so I just tried it for a little bit, and obviously I didn't want to have celery every day for the rest of my life. So it was good to like come off and on and like see how I went. So I struggled again with my skin for another year. So basically all of 2022, and yeah, 2023, it was just so up and down. I started seeing a skin therapist from the US, so Emily Morrow. She started to help me. I saw a few different naturopaths, and again, it was just trying different supplements and herbs and really trying to continue that gut healing process. And I think everything just came back to my gut. And along this journey, I've thankfully been able to reintroduce gluten here and there and not have the side effects that I used to, where it was like massive bloating, skin breakouts, brain fog, nausea, like so many things that I would have when eating gluten and dairy. Whereas now I can eat them, no problems. I just choose not to have an overload of it, because again, it's very inflammatory, and I want to keep that to a minimum still whilst we're on the upwards journey. Yeah, it was just a very much trying different things, seeing different practitioners, seeing different specialists, and choosing the holistic journey. This meant honestly like spending a lot of money, trusting, you know, different practitioners, researching a lot. It's one of those things, like I said, you just have to remember your why and why you're doing this and why you're choosing to heal naturally. And yeah, like you just have to keep that in the back of the mind, because there's so many times where you're like, this is too expensive, I can't keep going to these appointments, like I don't have time and yada, yada, yada. But for the last 4 years specifically, my health has been my number one priority. Like I'm always booking in skin appointments. I'm always booking in my naturopath. I'm always doing something for my health, because at the end of the day, if we don't have our health, we have nothing. You know, you can remove your house or your car or your boyfriend or your mum, and still like get on with life, as like morbid, as sad as it is. But if you don't have your health, you can't do that. So for me, like my health is my number one priority, my number one value, because without that, I don't have anything else. So I was willing to put in the money, put in the time and make an effort for it, because I want a happy longevity life. And that's just like my number one priority. So yeah, you just have to give yourself grace and just know that like it is a longer journey. It is more expensive, and you just have to weigh up what is more important to you. And again, everyone's going to be different. Their opinions, their journeys, their reactions to everything's going to be different, right? A lot of 2023 and even this year was spent trying different things. I would honestly say what I've focused on most in the last 6 to 12 months has been, again, always just eating nourishing foods. I have now reintroduced red meat, and I do think that's helped. I've always had low iron. I think that's really, really helped in that aspect. There are so many benefits to eating red meat, eating super clean, eating the right foods that work for me. And that is, sometimes I'm having gluten, but 90% of the time it's not. But then I'm not out there having the nasty gluten-free stuff that's full of crap. Like I'm still just avoiding any nasties, artificials, and all that sort of crap. So that has been a big focus. And then another thing that has been major in this journey, and this goes across all health honestly, but was reducing all cardio and any high intensity training, because that is going to put so much stress on your body, which means a spike in cortisol, throwing your hormones out. And as soon as my cortisol is spiked and my stress levels are high, my skin, see you later, she's breaking out. Like it is instant reaction basically. And I think for so long I was told stress kills and stress does this and that, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like it's fine, it's just stress. But no, it genuinely has a massive impact on our bodies. So when I could reduce that training, and I did that basically as soon as I met Jackson, and he took me under his wing and was my PT for ages. He was like, no cardio. Like the most cardio doing is going on your 3K walk every day. Like that was it. Low intensity weight training. And again, for me at that point in time, I'll go into this more on the podcast, but weight training was huge for me because I was not putting high intensity impact on the body, but I was really just moving my body, and my body transformed so much from just like 4 weight training sessions a week and then walking every single day. So again, that's just lowering the stress on my body, and I've literally done that ever since. I've dabbled in things like group training classes, and I did turf games and things like that, where it's obviously going to be more high intensity, but it's not every single day. It's not 5 times a week. It is when I feel like it and when I want the burst of like a challenge or something like that. And I just know my body can't hack high intensity training. It doesn't respond well. I feel sick, nauseous, my body just like shuts down almost, and I can just have it in very small doses, and that is just what works for me. And again, introducing Pilates has been incredible, because again, it's that low intensity training, and it's just been a great impact on my body. Something this year that I've worked on massively has been my mindset around food. So I actually didn't realize until a couple months ago how much of a fear I had around food, and that was because, you know, for so long I would eat gluten and blow up and break out and all that sort of stuff. So, and then also we're like, chocolate's bad, sugar's bad, lolly's horrible for you, yada yada yada. Like everything society tells us you hold on to, and whether it's not there in your conscious mind, it is floating around in your subconscious. And so when I would eat like 2 squares of dark chocolate at night, I'm like, oh my god, this is so naughty, because even though it's not dairy chocolate, it's cacao, and cacao breaks me out, and cacao is chocolate, and chocolate is bad. And like it would just be this cycle, and for so long I didn't even realize I was doing it. So this year I really focused on being mindful when I was eating, and like whatever I was eating, no matter if it was a donut or lettuce, I was like, I'm so grateful to have this food. My body can tolerate it. My body is healing. It is fueling me. There's so many benefits to this food, and really just like reiterating these quotes and phrases to myself as I was eating, to try and like recondition the mind to when I'm eating. And I honestly think that's played a massive role and been a huge help around food. And now I just feel like freedom. Like I feel I got rid of so much food anxiety around like weight gain and dieting, like probably a couple years ago. Whereas now it was all around my skin and my skin breaking out. So I would never eat chocolate and be like, I'm gonna gain weight, I need to go for a run tomorrow. Like that was gone years ago. It was, oh my God, I can't eat this chocolate, my skin's gonna break out. Honestly, nearly got rid of that. Obviously there's bits and pieces here and there, like really oily foods freak me the fuck out. Like I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna wake up with a pimple. And if you're constantly telling yourself that, that's what your body's listening to. That is what your cells are listening to, and that's what's gonna happen. Like you're literally speaking it into existence. So changing my mindset around food has been a huge change for me. And then as mentioned before, I did start seeing Emily Morrow. So that was the last time I probably was on a very intense supplement protocol, which was, you would have seen them in vlogs throughout this year. A bunch of different supplements, multiple times a day, remembering to have them before and after food or every breakfast, lunch and dinner. Like it was a lot, but again, I'm willing to do it. I spent thousands on those supplements at the start of this year. I think they played a massive role in everything I've done, has played a massive role in healing my gut. And so now, like I said, I can have gluten and I can have bouts of dairy and different sort of things and not have a side effect or a breakout or things like that. And so it got to about middle of this year, like I would say a good few months ago, maybe. My acupuncturist, that is something I need to talk about. Acupuncture. So I had it years ago with my first naturopath that I mentioned in Melbourne. Hadn't had it for years, and Tia, who was my naturopath here on the Gold Coast from Whole Health Studio, she brought on a acupuncturist into her clinic and she was like, you need to see Rachel, she's absolutely phenomenal. And I was like, okay, right, I'll give it a go. I'm here to give anything a go if it means I'm gonna heal and fix my skin and yada yada yada. So I booked in with Rach and absolutely loved her in every different way that she exists. And I have been seeing Rachel for acupuncture every single week. So we've been focusing on hormones, nervous system, immune system, whatever I need at that time of appointment is what I'm gonna get. She does something different every single week depending on how I feel and what I need, which has been amazing because I think it's just supported my body in so many ways that I haven't before in a long time. So for example, this week I went in and I was like quite one down, had a sore throat, everyone around me has been sick, and she was like, okay, your immune system is fighting, let's work on that. Whereas a couple of weeks ago, I was like so close to my period, but it wasn't quite there yet. So she was like, all right, we're working on blood flow, and we did electro acupuncture, which is like clips on your acupuncture to like send shocks to like get your blood circulating. What do you know, get a period the next day. Like I swear by acupuncture, it has done phenomenal things for me, and I will do it for as long as I possibly can with Rach. Yeah, like if she ever moved away, I'd be moving with her. Like honestly, she has changed my life. So grateful for Rach and doing acupuncture every single week. I think acupuncture has phenomenal benefits. That has been massive. But Rach said a couple months ago, she was like, how long has it been since you haven't taken supplements for your skin or like done some sort of protocol? And I was like, honestly, like probably 4 years, maybe. Like I've always done something, whether it was with Tia or Emily or I don't know, anyone. And she was like, what about giving your body a break? And I've only really ever had a break between protocols. Like it's been like 1 or 2 weeks max. And I sat with it for a bit and she was like, only if it feels good for you, but like maybe let's see how you go. And I was like, okay, like let me go home and sit with this and like see how I feel. And I was like, you know what? My body needs a break. I need to just like let my body do its thing. I'm the biggest preacher on like our body is powerful, it can heal itself, and I wasn't really allowing it to do that, and I was just pumping it with supplements over and over again. Not to say I don't think those supplements worked. I think they had a massive role in healing my gut because I did have a lot of bacteria there, and I am probably going to do another gut test. I want to try and do it before the end of the year to see where I'm at with my gut and see if there's any bacteria left. If so, what? How can I support that? Yeah, so I was like, okay, let's go off it. And it wasn't only allowing my body to heal itself, but also taking the pressure and the stress off myself of taking a supplement every fucking meal, like breakfast, lunch and dinner. The amount of times I would leave home after quickly eating lunch and then going, oh, I haven't had my supplements, turn around, drive home and have my supplements. Like it consumed me. And great because I was disciplined and I was on it and I was consistent, but sometimes I think that stress was doing more harm than this, like not having the supplements, if that makes sense. So I was like, all right, let's do it. I took a big break and I just was like, let's just take the pressure off myself. I took the supplements from My Way Up, who I was lucky enough to be working with and still am. So I took these skin and gut ones and I took them for 2 months. I think the packet's 90 capsules and I was like 1 a day for a bit, and then I went to 2 a day and I did 2 tubs. So I think that was maybe more, it was like 3 months. And that's when I kind of really started to see my skin settle down and chill out, which like so grateful for. So I took those for 2 or 3 months, and then I'm now taking their all-in-one gut supplements. I think I was really just feeling a little bit off a couple of weeks ago, as I mentioned. So I was like, all right, something to just support my gut, my digestion, bowel movements, everything. And yeah, I started taking the all-in-one every single morning. I don't think about it. I just get up and do it. It tastes great. And that's that. That's all I'm doing. I acupuncture every single week, and the all-in-one gut supplement from My Way Up is all I've been doing. And when I say I've noticed the biggest difference, I've noticed the biggest difference. Something else I introduced this year a lot of was infrared sauna. Infrared sauna heat you from the inside out. It really helps detoxify the body, get rid of any yuckiness in there, sweat it out. Obviously, you guys know we have been lucky enough to be gifted a sauna from Revel Saunas, who we work with, and I literally swear by it. Like, if we didn't get one, I definitely would have looked into buying one myself, because they do God's work. Like, I love a sauna. I try and do it twice, if not 3 times a week, 30 to 40 minutes. Sometimes I can only get in there for 20, but like, they do wonders. And I think because I've been so consistent with it this year, all these little things add up. Going to the sauna once a week, making sure I'm eating, you know, good whole foods, but still enjoying myself on the weekend, focusing on my mindset, my stress, my relationship with food. Like, all these little things add up. Even when you think, oh, that's not going to do anything, it is going to do something. And your body, again, listens to everything you say to it, and your subconscious mind takes on everything. So be really careful what you're saying to yourself. I think that's all. This year, like I said, in terms of training, it's been very much focusing on whatever the fuck I feel like doing. Some weeks that's nothing. Some weeks that's just Pilates. Some weeks that Pilates and strength. Some weeks it's just strength. Like, literally whatever I feel like doing, I'm doing. Yesterday or Monday, I went for a run. Very, very sore, but nonetheless, I went for a freaking run with Jackson, and that was just for like a mental challenge, and I'm there to do it because I want to, not because I have to. Yeah, there's a lot of these things that just have added up into this result. Yeah, the main thing has been stress, and I am just overall very, very happy with where I'm at in life, and working every single day to create the life of my dreams and Ziggy, and create mental freedom and food freedom and everything like that. So I honestly can't think of anything else. Water, again, it goes back to the basics. Like, do the basics well. Do the basics well before you look to anything else, before you go and spend thousands of skincare, before you go and book in with that acupuncturist. Do the basics well, and then go and do the external things that are going to support your body. Can't recommend enough doing gut tests and things like that to really figure out the root cause. If that you are wanting to go on the same journey as me, or you're on that holistic healing journey, your gut tests are going to give you a lot of answers. I not only did the gut microbiome, I did the vaginal swab too. So that gave me a lot of information as well in terms of what's going on. So there's so many tests. There's like a saliva test, there's a hair test, like there's so many different things. But finding someone who you can work with, who you trust, and who wants to see the best for you has been amazing. Like, having people in my corner. But you guys know my DM's always open for anyone that wants to chat about, you know, their skin, their hormones, whatever. Like, I'm not an expert, but I've had a pretty long fucking journey, and I'm willing to give any advice that will possibly help you in any way, shape, or form. But I hope that answers some questions. I know it's very frustrating to be on the other end of this video and not hear me be like, yep, this one supplement killed everything, because unfortunately that's just not the answer, and it's something that I searched for a very long time. But it just came down to me showing up day after day, putting in the work, trusting myself, trusting the process, trusting the people around me who I was working with, and showing up every single day, regardless of what your skin looks like, knowing that you're beautiful, knowing that your skin doesn't define you, and all the things you already know. But it is the basics that will go far and wide in this type of journey. So I hope this video gives you some answers and some clarity and just some comfort as well. This isn't to say this is the end. I pray to God that this is the end, and I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing because it seems to be working, and not put that pressure on myself. But 6 long years, and I think it's finally come to an end, and I am so grateful. I could cry when I feel my skin and look at it in the mornings. Like, the fact that it has been consecutive few months now of this result, I couldn't be more happy. And I appreciate the support along the years. I appreciate every single message for acne or hormones, period health, whatever it is. Like, I just love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful that I can share this journey with you. But that brings us to the end of this video. A girl can ramble, but I promise to do a in-depth episode on the podcast as well, where I can really just ramble on for an hour. But I love you guys so much. Stay strong, put yourself first, and I will see you in my next video.